What's up, D? Is my sound okay? Let me know. I'm gonna get started here. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Girl, this shirt is trying me. I thought yeah, I thought it covered a little more. You hear me breathing. Girl, yeah, I be sounding like I'm snoring. I'm listening to myself breathe. I'm like, ooh, I need to go to the doctor and see why I'm snoring. Oh gosh. Yeah, this shirt wasn't cooperating. I got all kinds of tape on it, and we gonna see if anything pops out. Oh gosh. So yeah, I'm started because it's 7 o'clock, and I wanted to at least get things going on time, but I also have some food being delivered, and they were supposed to have been here, and now they're not. So, girl, get them tips. Where them dollars at? Where them dollars at? Oh gosh. So yeah, I'm gonna try to wait until the DoorDasher gets here before I start anything because you know how DoorDash be, Davina. So how was your day? Hopefully you're having a pleasant day. Let me go ahead on and start. And if the food just get here, y'all gonna have to see me get up. Now let me tell you, this was a whole vibe I have going on right here today. So I got on my little spiderweb shirt and I got on some pleather pants. And these pants make a whole lot of noise. And I hate that. But I'm gonna have to get up and go and get my food when they get here. So when they get here, you gonna hear that. Yeah, so we talking today about for Film Review Friday. I might as well go ahead and get my opening out the way. Welcome back to After the Snap, and I'm your host, Tasha Pierce. And for Film Review Friday this week, we are going back to an old favorite, except for it's been rebooted to a new favorite. We'll get into all of that. Halloween Kills is our movie for the week. Wait a minute. Are y'all going to see me get up? Let me tell you, my boobs checked today. What is that? What does that mean? But yeah. So we're doing Halloween Kills for Film Review Friday. And of course, we're gonna see some old favorites. Quite a few old favorites, in fact, because we see some old characters from the first Halloween movie show up again here in this movie. And I'm not even talking about just Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, of course, these are not the original actors who played these characters. I don't think. However, uh, they back. The character within the universe is going to return. So we'll get into that a little bit more as we get into the review. Oh, don't pay no attention. The microphone caught your conversation and what I was typing. Oh, that happens. So yeah, I'm gonna give them a few more minutes because the kids are my son and his girlfriend are back there, but I don't know that they are paying attention. So okay, I'm about to get up now. You're gonna hear the forgive me. Okay, now that I've got dinner dinner out of the way, let's get started with this film review. How about that? So, like I said, today we are doing Halloween Kills. The synopsis for this movie is minutes after Laurie Strode, her daughter Karen, and granddaughter Allyson left masked monster Michael Myers caged and burning in Laurie's basement. Laurie is rushed to the hospital with life threatening injuries, believing she finally killed her lifelong tormentor. But when Michael manages to free himself from Laurie's trap, his ritual bloodbath resumes. As Laurie fights her pain and prepares to defend herself against him, she inspires all of Haddonfield to rise up against their unstoppable monster. The Strode women join a group of other survivors of Michael's first rampage who decide to take matters into their own hands, forming a vigilante mob that sets out to hunt Michael down once and for all. Evil dies tonight. I gotta take a sip. I'm losing my voice already. Okay, so of course, this release date was October 15th, which is today. You also could have seen it in the Thursday night previews yesterday at your local theater, or uh, or you could see it on Peacock. So if you have Peacock Premium, you could have watched this on Peacock as well at home. And let me tell you, I didn't know that I had Peacock Premium. If you use Xfinity for your internet or cable provider, you could possibly have Peacock Premium and just really didn't know, or maybe you knew and forgot, like I did. I knew that Peacock was, uh, I knew that it was included in my package. I just didn't know that it was the premium tier. So here we are. I was able to watch this at home. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 45 minutes, and it was directed by David Gordon Green. It was also written by Green, Danny McBride, and Scott Teems. Now, it is starring the Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode, Judy Greer as Karen, who was Laurie's daughter, Anthony Michael Hall as Tommy Doyle. And if you remember, Tommy Doyle was the little boy that Laurie was babysitting way back in 1978. And then Andi Matichak as Allyson, and that is Laurie's granddaughter. So, when we think about Halloween, we remember there being the first movie way back in 1978, and then a ton of movies in between. And then we got that one in 2018. So what this version of Halloween is asking you to do is forget every movie that came after the original Halloween and before the one in 2018. So the only ones that matter in the continuity of this reboot is the first Halloween movie, Halloween 2018. Then this movie, Halloween Kills, was 2021. And then Halloween Ends will be the next installment. And it sounds like they plan for that to be the last installment. But you know how that goes. If it makes a lot of money, it is going to be back. And you know this, man. Now, to pregame for Halloween Kills, I did watch the 2018 movie and an episode of the Movies That Made Us, and that was recommended to me to watch by a friend of the show, Davina. So thank you, Davina, for bringing that to my attention. That was interesting. And if you'd like to know more about the history of the making of the first Halloween movie, that is an excellent place to start. Now, when we get to the 2018 movie, because that is the one that is previous to this one, it brings us back to Haddonfield, Illinois, where we find out how the events of 1978 affected Laurie's life. And it was a, a massive effect because she spent the entirety of the rest of her life preparing to meet Michael Myers again. Now, how she knew that she was going to end up meeting him again, or how anybody in this town knew, hey, we're going to end up running into Michael Myers again, we need to be ready, is beyond me. Because all of the lore that was coming from those movies that were in between, all of that is erased. So, 1978, not Jason, gosh, Michael Myers went on his rampage, and he obviously was apprehended because we find him in 2018 in that mental institution, that psychiatric institution. So, how does she know that he was coming back? How does she know he would ever get out of that mental institution? I don't know. I don't know. But she did. And she prepared for her entire life. And in fact, she involved her child, her daughter Karen. Remember, she had kids in those other iterations of Halloween? Forget all about them kids. Their names started with a J. I don't even remember their names. But they don't exist anymore. Poof, they're gone. So she trained her daughter, Karen, to be prepared for anything that that was going to happen to them as a result of Michael Myers returning to them. So now the shape, and that is what in universe they originally were calling Michael Myers, was the shape. Hi, Stacy. So you go watch Halloween, you'll trust my recommends? Well, you haven't gotten to my recommends yet, so just a minute. The shape, also known as Michael Myers, did escape from the psychiatric facility's transport bus. So now he really is out in the wild. This was in 2018, of course. This is when this happened. And then right when he gets off the bus, Michael Myers don't take no breaks, no lunch, dinner, none of that. He picks right up where he left off in 1978. He just immediately, he kills a whole bunch of people. A whole bunch of people. And what I liked is they even figured out a way to play it into our obsession as a society with true crime. And I'm not going to say everybody has that obsession, but a lot of people, and I'm looking at women, have that obsession. And what they had in, this is the 2018 movie. This is not me talking about this new movie yet. In the 2018 movie, they had a couple of podcasters who kind of, they wanted to figure out what makes Michael Myers tick. So they visited the psychiatric facility, and they kind of goaded him. They had his mask, and it was, hey, we got your mask. I mean, they weren't teasing him, but if you come to a psychopath and bring his mask and don't think that that's going to wake up something in him, there is something wrong. You're probably not the greatest of podcasters. So, needless to say, in the 2018 movie, they bit the dust, those podcasters. But it was just nice to see them including things from our pop culture now in this movie, as a show of the way things has changed since 1978. A lot has changed. Now, he was being transported to a new psychiatric facility in the 2018 movie. This is where he, assumedly, he took over the bus, kind of beat on the bus driver, killed a whole bunch of people. The psychiatric patients were all just roaming around outside, and Michael Myers dipped. Not before he killed a whole bunch of people, but he dipped. Okay. So he has this doctor, and it makes you think about Dr. Loomis from the original movie, but this ain't Dr. Loomis. This is not Dr. Loomis. This guy is kind of obsessed just with the notion of a Michael Myers. He wants to see him in his element. So he's like trying to help him get to Laurie Strode. So he steals a car and drops Michael Myers off close to Laurie Strode's house. Now, of course, he ends up getting killed because that's what killers do. He don't care if you try to help him, not help him. He killed the man. Okay, so now we're past where the doctor kills. Michael Myers kills the doctor. He's at Laurie Strode's house, and this is what she's been waiting on her whole life. And she gives him the business. When you see Jamie Lee Curtis, older Jamie Lee Curtis, much older, in fact, we can even put it there. She's a much older Jamie Lee Curtis, and it was a realistic battle in the 2018 movie because she did not try to physically fight him. She would be no match for Michael Myers. However, the house that she had nothing but time to think of ways to trap him in that house, and trap him she did. She, her daughter, and her granddaughter were all there in this battle at the end of the 2018 movie that finds Michael Myers caught or trapped in the house. The house is on fire. They think, oh gosh, it's over. Even though Laurie Strode had been nearly fatally wounded in this battle with Michael Myers, they think it's over. We did it. The house is on fire. He gonna burn alive in there, and goodness. And this is where we picked up in 2021. We pick up with Laurie being carted to the hospital. And on the way to the hospital, we saw all of this in the trailer. I'm not trying to spoil anything for you. We saw all of this in the trailer where she was being taken to the hospital. And as they were on their way to the hospital one way, they see fire trucks and ambulances coming the other way. And they're saying, no, do not try to save this man's life. Let it burn down. Let it burn down. Okay, we get to the house where Michael is trapped in the cellar, and they help him out. Oh, it's like they didn't have any clue who Laurie Strode was, who Michael Myers was, even though had been all on the news that he was among the psychiatric patients who had been on this bus. So they knew that it was a possibility that he could be in the area, but they still helped him. And I don't get it. So they helped him. And of course, you know what Michael Myers do to people who help him. He kills them. He kills them. And this is just one of many. And of course, again, these were things that were seen in the trailer. I'm not telling you anything that you haven't seen in the trailer just yet. But I couldn't believe that these people were dumb enough or were ignorant enough. And I know that everybody wasn't born and raised in Haddonfield, Illinois. But just like in the city that I'm from, if you hear the words Alton Coleman, you kind of know who that is. And it's almost like you're almost born knowing who Alton Coleman is if you're from Gary, Indiana. So if you're from Haddonfield, Illinois, wouldn't you know about the 7-year-old or 6-year-old who killed his sister? Then he gets out of the psychiatric facility at 21, goes on another killing spree, and then he ends up back in another psychiatric facility. So now he's back in this other psychiatric facility, I suppose, and he escapes, and he starts doing the exact same thing. Now, if you're looking for a bloody movie, this is the right one for you. Because when I say it has to be at the absolute least 15 people die in the first 30 minutes of this movie. And I mean, they die some outstandingly gruesome deaths. Many of them you can see in the trailer for this movie. So all of those kills that we saw in the trailer for the Halloween Kills movie, they probably all took place in the first 20 to 30 minutes of the movie. Now, we also find out that Tommy Doyle is back. Tommy Doyle was the little boy that Laurie Strode was, who's over here? Tommy Doyle is the little boy that Laurie Strode was babysitting during the first attack by Michael Myers. Now he's all grown up. Okay, he's probably in his 40s. And the other survivors of this original movie's events, they all said, hey, every year on Halloween, we are going to remember the people who were lost in that original massacre. So this is what they were doing. They were at the local bar, and they were people were doing karaoke, and it was like open mic night. And Tommy Doyle gets up and says, if he ever comes back, we are going to make sure we kill him. We are going to rightfully kill him this time. And this was, of course, before they found out he was back. And then they get out and they take to the streets because now they are going to find Michael and kill him. Now, Michael been shot. Michael been stabbed. Michael been burned. Michael been slashed. Michael been run over by cars. None of this killed him. and I think I've only mentioned stuff that happened to him in the first movie and then the 2018 movie. All of these things have happened to Michael Myers, and he never dies. So I don't know what made these people think that they was going to get some baseball bats and kill Michael Myers. But of course, I'm not even trying to spoil anything, but we know that Michael Myers done lived through some stuff. So if he done lived through all of those things, you are not about to find him with no baseball bats and kill him. Okay. Early in the movie, and what this is me not trying to give any spoilers. Early in the movie, we met a little black boy. His name was Julian. And let me tell you, Julian was probably 10, 11 years old. He is really Gumby in disguise. Yeah, nothing kills Gumby either, huh? Julian was a little black boy. And he was all of us when he faced Michael Myers. Because Julian did not waste no time. He didn't talk. He didn't scream. He didn't try to figure out what the noise was. Julian was gone. Julian ran like the wind. Because Michael Myers never runs. So Julian ran like the wind. He told everybody that was behind him or he was running past, he told them, don't go up there. The monsters are boogeyman up there. And he dipped. And of course, his little pretty white babysitter had to go take a look. So I don't have to tell you what happened to her. Now, when we talk about Jamie Lee Curtis being the scream queen that she is, being horror movie royalty because of her mother, Janet Leigh. So Jamie Lee Curtis is an icon in the horror genre. They didn't give her an awful lot to do in this movie. And now, it was realistic because in 2018, she had these fatal stab wounds that Michael inflicted upon her. They weren't fatal. They were near fatal. These near fatal stab wounds that Michael had inflicted upon her. So we spent a lot of time with her in the hospital. Even though she initially thought that they had gotten rid of him, then she learned later that he survived. And the mob that is Haddonfield's residents, led by the people who survived Michael the first time, they were like, we're going to protect Laurie Strode at all costs. That was number one. And they wanted to make evil die tonight. That was their chant. Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight. Okay. So Jamie didn't have a lot to do. She was just there basically as motivation for these characters to be on the offensive against Michael Myers. This ain't stopping Michael. Michael is still out there doing what Michael does. Um, this movie, this movie kind of just felt like the second act in a three-part performance. So the first act, shooter. I'm saying the second act, and it's really the third. The first act would be the original Halloween movie, and then we have the 2018 Halloween movie, this movie, and then I'm going to jump out on a limb and say things will close out in the next Halloween movie. Um, so it feels like we didn't get a complete story out of this movie. The town did decide to take Michael on. Uh, we found that they were just like that mob that stormed the Capitol at the beginning of this year. That this year, it seems shit. The year is moving so fast and so slow at the same time. It seems like that insurrection at the Capitol happened years ago. Yeah, but that was that was at the beginning of this year. So just like that little insurrection, this angry group of residents who are tired of seeing their families being killed and harassed by Michael Myers, they decide they gonna take him on. Again, the mob gets bigger. They think they got him cornered in the hospital. In the meantime, Michael Myers out running the streets, killing people out there. But the people think they've got him trapped in the hospital, and they end up. I'm not going to tell you what they end up doing, but I'm pretty sure you can guess. But the bottom line is, this movie did address mob rules, and it was down to storming the hospital, and that there was a black police officer on the stairs trying to hold the people off, just like it was in the Capitol. So that was quite intentional. That was not an accidental. That was not an accidental thing. So my thing when we're talking about horror movies is, what are we looking for in horror movies? Uh, Most of the time, we're just looking for a plot that moves. We're looking for relatable characters, and we're looking for that ridiculous kill count. In Halloween Kills, we get 1 out of 3. We get that ridiculous kill count. Uh, the situations that these people, our characters, find themselves in are relatable. Some of the characters, even, like little Julia, but far too many of these characters are not realistic, uh, and I couldn't relate to them. And by that I mean, if we've already tried everything in the world to kill Michael Myers, I'm pretty sure that they should know that baseball bats is not where it's at. They're not going to get it done with baseball bats. That's not going to happen. Uh, to me, the best remedy to get past Michael Myers would probably be to move the fuck out of Haddonfield, Illinois. But that's just me. And the plot of this movie was probably lost in the edit. This movie ended up being 1 hour 45 minutes long. I think they said that the finished movie before they started editing was 2.5 hours. So when you lose that much in editing, um, I can think why the plot doesn't seem to be fluid. It was lost in the edit. Things just were happening in the movie. I don't particularly know why. And I say that because when you've watched a movie, or if you've already watched it, you will see that stuff was just happening. Some of it was unnecessary stuff. Some of the people, it was like, whatever we're going to do, whatever we have to do to keep this story moving. But the stuff wasn't making sense. And that's a problem to me. So on my regular 1 to 5 scale, when I'm talking about Halloween kills, I'm going to go with a 2.75 because there was far too much of it that was, like I say, just stuff just happened just so we could tell the story. It didn't happen and then the story revolved around the things that happened. It was like the things that happened revolved around the story. We want this story to go this way. We want everybody to end up at the hospital. So let's make something crazy or stupid happen that puts them there. And it was just too unrelatable, too unrealistic. But the kills, if you're looking for kills, you most certainly got your fair share because Michael Myers was on some otherworldly stuff in this movie. And that also brings me to, when are we going to find out exactly what Michael's, number one, what is his motivation? What his real motivation? And number two, uh, what type of supernatural being? Because he's got to be supernatural at this point. He's not a mortal. He's not a regular human. So how did he get imbued with some type of supernatural powers, forces that make him be able to withstand the assaults that he withstands, and the to be able to survive the attempts on his life? And then he's so super strong. He's so super strong. 1 minute he's super strong, and the next minute you could cut him with a knife and he feels it. He can get shot and just stand there, but when he gets cut with the knife, he feels it. He pulls his head back. That was just Those are things that are just weird to me. So it gives me the feeling that they did not care how they put this together. They just wanted a movie where a lot of people get killed and we're going to make a lot of money. And they are making a lot of money. I believe that this one is set for a $47 million opening, and that is pretty darn good in pandemic era and for a horror film, a rated R horror film. So these are things that had to be motivating the director, Blumhouse, everybody involved to make this movie, because again, we didn't get answers to the burning questions that we've had for 40 years, which is, what the hell is Michael Myers? What is he? They say, does it make you want to see it, Stacy? Well, and of course, if you are just a horror fan and you just like horror movies, which some of us, some of us do. If you're a horror fan, like horror movies, this is going to be right up your alley, because it is going to give you a couple of jump scares and a couple of a lot of kills. Couple of jump scares and a lot of kills. So if you are into horror like that, then this is going to be great for you. If you really are looking for some type of cohesion, you want it to make sense, you're not as interested in the kills as you are in the story, I say watch it on Peacock. If you've got Peacock Premium, I say watch it there. I would not watch it. I wouldn't go to the movies. It's just not strong enough in all the areas. It it only grosses you out, I think. So yeah, that was my 2.75, and I'm sorry. I was supposed to be I'm showing you pictures on Rotten Tomato. I was supposed to be telling you what the audience and the critics rated it. Stacy says she likes the original Rubber Godzilla movies. Yeah, they don't they make you use your imagination a lot more. The older movies, the old stuff. Uh but anyway, I wish this would scroll up, scroll up. There we are. Rotten Tomatoes. 41% from the critics, 77% from the audience, and it's probably going to stay like that. The audience is going to skew a whole heck of a lot higher than the critics. The critics are looking for stuff to make sense, I think, and this one doesn't make an awful lot of sense. Let's see what the critics' consensus was. Halloween Kills should satisfy fans in search of brute slasher thrills, but in terms of advancing the franchise, it's a bit less than the sum of its bloody parts. And I don't always agree with the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, but on this, I think I do. Um, wasn't wasn't a spectacular movie. Wasn't the worst movie I've seen this year. Shout out to Karen. But this one, yeah. I'm not gonna say skip it, but I'm gonna say, have it in the back of your mind that this one is just pure horror. It's not nothing else. It's not giving you no great story. I thought the 2018 movie gave us a decent story and made me feel like I could, okay, I can dig this. I can see where we're going with this. And then this movie, Halloween Kills, turned all of that on its head. Um, Last but not least, this Halloween Ends. Okay, I think it's still coming out in 2022. Not 100% sure if they've moved the date because of having to delay this movie. Because this movie was originally supposed to come out last year in 2020, but here we are. Excuse me. So yeah, this one was supposed to come out in 2020. COVID had other things to say, and I don't know if that means we're going to be pushing the other movie up a year as well because of this one. So, say we may never know what is driving Michael Myers. Well, they started to attempt at an answer in this movie, but again, and with what I can say without spoiling the movie, I won't say anything more than that. They this which is leading me to believe that we are going to find out what is driving Michael Myers in the next movie. Which means this middle movie was like it was just I want a kill fest. Let's have a kill fest, and a lot of people got killed. I think we will find out next movie, especially if they really believe that they're going to end the franchise. Uh, you know, and not being funny, but Jamie Lee Curtis, her character has been going through this for how many years? 40 now, and it's time to give her some closure as well. Either she's going to get to kill Michael Myers, or he's going to kill her. That's the only way this thing ends to me. But we also find that he's not motivated by Laurie, which is what we were informed by all the movies in the middle, and that's why they say chuck those movies. They don't have anything to do with what's going on in this movie and the movie that's coming after. It's a direct sequel to 1978. It does not acknowledge any of the sequels after that. And Even the part where we learned that Laurie Strode was his sister, that's not even true. So now we have to, we got to sit back and wait another year at least to see what drives him, what is making him be this killing machine. They allude to a few things in the movie, and I encourage you, if you're going to watch it, go ahead and watch it and then tell me what you think they are alluding to when they talk about what might motivate Michael Myers. But yeah, 41% on the tomato meter from the critics, 77% audience score. It's going to be that way. The audience is going to love it because they go into the movies to see death, and they're going to get it. And it combines elements from a few real life situations and a few other horror movies, and that's enough for a hardcore horror fan. But for me, as far as what I'm looking for, it didn't deliver on making this relatable situations or having a plot that makes sense and also moves. So those are the things that I think about Halloween Kills. So, do we have any? Let me see. Nope, I've addressed all the little comments that we've gotten as well. So, if you guys don't have anything else, I'm going to wrap it up. But you guys let me know. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to think about if you got any questions, comments, concerns. Yeah, so usually I do the weekly wrap up on Saturdays. It's looking like tomorrow we've got DC fandom, and that's DC, Superman and Batman and those characters, the DC Comics character. They're having their big event tomorrow. It's a big fan event, and of course I'm going to watch it because it is going to be. I'm going to put the link if I haven't already done so. I'm going to put the link on the Facebook in the Facebook group. And Stacy, you need to join the Facebook group. But yeah, I'm going to put the link in the Facebook group if you want to watch DC fandom. If I get any interest, I may do a watch along where I'll just be live on Facebook. I'm coming back to that. I'm gonna do it live, maybe on Facebook, where we'll talk about what's going on DC fandom. But I will be doing the weekly wrap up on Sunday at 3 p.m. Central, and we're gonna talk at length about what went on DC fandom. So hopefully that is something that you all are interested in, because I'm very interested. I want to see what's going on. I want to see if this Batman trailer what it's gonna look like with that Flash, Black Adam. There's a lot going on the DC side of things. They finally got some new news about to roll out. Davina says she saw that Scream is coming out in January. She wishes it came out this month. I can agree. Of course, I'm interested to see what they do with this story. I don't want them to reboot things just for the sake of making money. I want them to have a really decent story surrounding how Ghostface makes his return. But I'm very, very, very interested to see, especially that's one of my favorite franchises too. I'm interested in seeing how they move the story along a little bit. Yep. And how long they think they're going to keep being able to reboot that. Yep, so we will we'll talk more about the Halloween Kills box office also on Sunday, because, it says 47 million. That is an estimate. We know it can come in much higher or it can come in much lower. So this show you were talking about, which show you talking about, D? Is going to be talking about a new Batman movie. Oh yeah, they're going to be talking about everything they got going or coming out of DC. So tomorrow is like, it's basically if they had like what Comic Con. So if you have Comic Con and you're like those conventions that they have, they're doing it virtually. So it's a virtual convention where they're going to be rolling out everything new that they've got coming out. They're going to be either talking about it or showing us some of the progress on those projects. So we talking about that Batman movie that's coming out next year, the Flash movie that's coming out next year, uh, Black Adam, Shazam. Gosh, what else? We got a Black Canary is coming out on HBO Max. Peacemaker is coming out, or Peacemaker is coming out on HBO Max. It is. They've got a lot of stuff coming, and it can make you excited because they've been quiet for a little while. You ain't heard nothing from these characters. It's been Marvel, Marvel, Marvel. Oh yeah, Shazam is getting a sequel because Shazam did, it didn't do crazy box office numbers, but it was a wonderful family movie. I absolutely loved the Shazam movie. Loved it. I would, if I had grandchildren and little kids, we'd be all in that thing because it was wholesome, and it was more directed at a younger family audience, and I thought that was cool. Even though it was a lot of violent little things that happened in there. Flash. Now, as far as I know, Flash has always been a Caucasian character. I could be wrong. There could be one somewhere, that was black. But this one is played by what is this young man's name? Ezra Miller. So he's the same guy who played Flash in the Justice League. He's getting his own movie. So yeah, that is tomorrow. I think it's like a 4-hour presentation. Could be longer. I am going to watch as much of it as I can. I'm gonna have to force myself to go to sleep because it starts at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock Central Time, and I have been staying up all darn night and sleeping all doggone day. So I got to get on the. I got to be able to get up tomorrow, sleep tonight, and get up tomorrow. Maybe I'll take a sleeping pill as soon as I get done with this. We got some Green Lantern. It's going to be a lot. And again, if there's interest, if anybody is interested in a watch along, I'll watch. We can't show the presentation on our live streams or whatever. But if you just want like company while you watch it in your place and I watch it in mine, and we can discuss what we see going on, I am 100% for it because that'll make me stay up. I will fall asleep. I fell asleep during the Netflix one. Netflix had theirs last month. I fell asleep while I was watching it. So yeah. Oh, love you too. Love you too, Stacy. But yeah. So, if that is something you guys are into, let me know. If not, I will see everybody on Sunday at 3 p.m. Central, where we will discuss this thing up one side and down the other. Maybe some of our other friends will be here, and we can talk for a little while about it because that's going to be a big event. But I also have other topics that we're going to discuss as well. So the Sunday weekly wrap up is going to probably run a little long. So, with all that being said, I hope you all enjoyed Film Review Friday this week. It was fun. Even though I didn't love the movie, it was fun talking about it, and it was fun watching it, bringing it out, telling you guys what I thought. And we'll be doing it again next week. Next week, we will be talking about the long-awaited Denis Villeneuve movie, Dune. That is a big deal. So next week, I'll be seeing Dune, and I'll be coming right back here to tell you what I think. And until then, I'll see you at the movies. Peace.